Okay, I'm a bit behind schedule, but we are good to go. So, as you see, I'm running to my bike and the gate which just opened because I don't have a key on me for the gate and just had to press on the thing. Okay, so I'm good to go. It's 9:45, running a bit behind schedule here for whatever reasons, like kids, life, blah blah blah. But now the journey is starting. I will hop on the bike and let's hope that all goes pretty well. Hey, great to have you here in the second part. In this part I'm going to show a lot of the footage and the stuff that happened on the way. Here I'm actually leaving Heidelberg, the very first pedal strokes of the day. I already apologize for some rookie mistakes, like you are going to see that over time you will see more and more of my saddleback because I didn't control very well the angle of the GoPro when riding, so that is something to apologize for. You're going to see that, but I still hope that it gives you a good impression of the ride and also of the landscapes that you can encounter over here in this area, the southwestern part of Germany, which are really cool to ride. As you can see, I'm not lucky with the weather, but well, this can happen, especially in October when I went on this ride. So yeah, here we are departing already outside of the city. And from now on, it is pretty much a whole lot of countryside and very, very little towns and villages, which is how we can ride over here in Germany. Okay, so we made it out of Heidelberg. Let me tell you the little story that went on first thing when I came down to my bike and wanted to get it out. My rear tire was completely flat. So since I didn't ride the bike and I, as you saw, put new air inside, and hope that I just fucked up something with the vent, even though it looked good when I checked it. So yeah, I don't know, weird thing that happened, but it happened. Of course, the prediction was like 17% chance of rain, and it's raining. It's a weird kind of rain. It's not really a thick rain, it's like almost no rain, but it's just making all the air and everything so wet. It's like there's little raindrops standing in the air, micro raindrops, but they are everywhere, and that makes it for a wet thing. So such is life. I hope the camera captured these big birds. I just don't know what they are called in English. Störche, storks maybe. Ey, du bist auch so ein Arschloch, Alter. So that was swearing in German. This guy was just a maniac, not making any space for me. Fuck that bitch. But yeah, so where was I? Storks, I believe they are called storks, but I'm not sure. Need to double check. Beautiful. Love some birds. Love seeing some cool birds while riding, to be honest. Here I am in the lovely town of Ladenburg, very lovely little village close to Heidelberg. As you can see, I'm hitting the cobblestones here. I mean, they are not Belgian cobblestones, but the German variety. So not quite a Flemish classic, Belgian classic, but still it's shaking, as you can see, especially on my bike, which has way too narrow tires because of my clearance issues. I can maximum fit 37 mil tires, so by nowadays standards, not at all a gravel bike, but sometimes you have to ride with what you got, right? Yep. But it's a lovely town. If you are ever in this area of Germany, make sure you visit Ladenburg. It's really a fantastic little town. So as you can see on the head unit over there, I'm taking some detours now because it was about to send me on a farm road that looked pretty much like the stuff over there, and that is just, yeah, I don't want to ride it, not at the beginning of the ride. This will just, all the mud, make riding so much harder and less pleasant. So the thing I'm going for here for the moment is staying on these roads, and let's see if I do more
off-road stuff later. Love riding off-road, but if you have to get places, yeah, I don't opt in for all the mud that is out there. One interesting race that I have is the race with the darkness. I guess around 5 p.m. it's going to get dark, and that's just the last part before I reach my destination, Diethardt. It's just the gnarliest. It's in Taunus, it's a lot of up and down. It's actually where I crashed and where I broke my collarbone as well. Just 5k from the house of my friend that I'm visiting. So in some sense, all this ride here is really also about conquering the area there on the bike, again without, hopefully, knock on wood, breaking my collarbone. It was a freak crash. Well, so anyways, this will be the gnarliest part, especially if I do it off-road, as for now I hope, because there it's wood. Once you are in the woods, it's usually not as muddy, except for stretches. So yeah, decision not yet made, but if I do it off-road, I would be happy if there would still be daylight available, so I should be there before 5. I think that is optimistic, but let's see how it goes. For now, we can definitely be on a much higher pace than the average predicted pace, so that would be pretty good and pretty useful if that continues for a while. So in case you're wondering how I approach this from like a pacing myself strategy, for now I keep it all very easy, mostly in like zone 2 territory. Maybe sometimes I'll push into tempo, but yeah, it's potentially worst case an 8-hour ride, so you don't want to fully destroy yourself for this one. And it's also besides the point, as I'm also training normally. Obviously this one here is not intended to be something where I kill myself completely. Okay, finally we are off-road, and that is quite rideable. Not too muddy and not too nasty.
It is at this point in time that I'm entering the woods, and I'm staying there for quite a long time. There are so many roads in the woods over here that you can just go for really long periods of time, and it's not quite until Mainz and Wiesbaden, the two big towns that I'm crossing on the route here, but it is for a long amount, and then I just go from woods to open fields. It's just fantastic off-road riding. As the weather was super bad, I didn't see a lot of people, very few people on bikes, so I could really just enjoy the tranquility, the loneliness of the woods, and the riding I was doing at this point in time through this beautiful autumn landscape here. It was, just scenic and a pretty fantastic stretch of riding that I did at this point in time. I'm on a road in the middle of the woods, and by comes this policeman on the motorbike, doesn't greet, doesn't say a word, and bam! There comes this road barrier, this roadblock. I cannot pass, but the guy didn't say anything, didn't warn me. I was kind of mad at him at this point and wondering what to do. So I decide to turn around and talk to the guy, because obviously I want to know where I can go.
So I just had a little chat with the policeman. Friendly guy. Once he's talking, very friendly, told me I can't pass. It's just closed because of the pig pest. Shit, I need to look this up. But yeah, it's an illness that is going around in Germany for pigs, and that seems to be here, and so that the wild boars cannot exit. Hope I don't meet any. I don't like wild boars, but well, I can pass. That's good. So we will trespass legally with policemen allowing me to get over Autobahn. That's German auto route, famous across the world, because actually here we are entitled to ride our cars fast. So, chip. Chip. So, that is successful trespassing.
Turns out it wouldn't be the last time I encountered such a barrier for the swine fever, and I saw a lot more warning signs, really a big issue going around here currently in Germany.
Now I'm in the zone. I don't know if you know this feeling when you're cycling, you just run with the bike and it feels good. You don't even care about the rain or anything. You're just going and thinking you could do this all day long. That is where I'm right now. Feels good. My calf from the cold still a bit. Oh, I think I missed the turn. That is if you're talking so much for the zone. Well, no, but it feels really good. So we just crossed the 100k to go mark. So 41k in the books, 99.8 to go. Pretty reasonable. Right now riding 145. So at this pace, yeah, like it says 433 ETA. That's unlikely because of the climbing in the last section of the ride, but we're doing well, so keeping on track, and that is what matters.
As I mentioned, I didn't see a lot of people, not a lot of riders, but you don't very often come across a horse carriage as I did here. I was pretty stoked to see it, honestly. And with that, we are almost at the end of this forest section. Upcoming next is the mud.
And this fuck here, ah, come on. That is. Well, if you would, you could say it's unbound training or something like this, even though I don't consider doing unbound anytime soon. But well. Line choice is everything, and I took the very, very bad one. Yeah, that is annoying. That stuff is annoying. And now it's sending me right here on the next road that looks like pure mud. Should have checked if there is a cycling path, alternative route, because god damn it, what is this? Okay. No, I hate my balls. Oh, all of that. Oh, I just hit my balls on the top tube back. How stupid is that? Okay. Fuck, that hurt. Didn't even know it was possible to do this, to be honest. Hit your balls on the top tube back. Stupid, painful, annoying. pavement, and I just love it. On a day like this, I just love Heidelberg.
After I'm done with the mud, I'm now entering one of the more fun sections of the ride. In this little town called Erfelden is a protective dam next to the Altrhein, the river Altrhein, and it goes on and on. There are a bunch of water puddles that I have to circumvent, making it almost a little technical experience, and then you're on there just riding. And visually, after all this forest, it's a really cool change that is very welcome at this point in time. And it goes on and on and on and on. Really lovely section.
Now I'm doing Paris-Roubaix, apparently. I was forced to make a little stop here due to the battery running empty, so using this to make a little update from in there. So I was in this super nasty mud section that you see over here. Now I'm entering this one. So yeah, these are the sections that I don't really like, but okay, it is what it is. So let's see how long it takes. We are at roughly the half point mark, 70k to go, a bit more, and then we made it. Even though of course the hardest part of the day is still ahead of me with like 1000 meters of climbing to go at Taunus, but yeah, I will keep you posted from there. Nasty. Weather is getting nasty. Talking to aliens. And it's getting cold. Yeah. So it's tempting to ride harder, but I try to be just at the high end of endurance here. Even though now I would be happy to find a good hot coffee, being honest with you here.
And then I'm on this bike lane here that seems to be never ending. It is parallel to the river Rhine that is to my left here. And I am going. It is during this section, by the way, where I did hit the highest speed for like 20 minutes, maybe even for 30 minutes, because you could just pedal and there was nothing to stop you from pedaling all the way. Really a cool section. You were even able for most of this to be not on this bike path here, but to be in a gravel section. But I honestly opted to be mostly on the paved part here because I wanted to make progress and avoid riding in the night or riding for long sections in the night. So that is why I opted to do it, even though sometimes I then couldn't resist and went on the gravel that was up on the dam part. And I guess this speaks to the challenge of such a ride, because you have to make the trade-off between speed and fun. Sometimes go off-road and have fun, but you also need to reach a destination before the darkness comes, and that is why you sometimes have to just pick the pavement and make progress as fast as you can. And bam, now we are in Mainz, and I was hoping to find a good, nice little coffee, but couldn't find one because it didn't route me through the inner city, so I had to stop at a place a bit outside. I think it was already officially Wiesbaden, but still called Mainz weirdly, and I had not such a lovely coffee in a bakery, but well, it was good enough.
So we've entered the climbing section, the climbing part. For now, this is not super steep, it's just going. Then ahead there we see this mountain thing. I don't know if we need to go on top of this, but certainly we need to go over it, or by it, around it. So yeah, now we are there.
Pretty quickly after this part in Wiesbaden, we are leaving the city and entering the forest again, and now we are going up and down, but mostly up, through this area that I guess at this point is already Taunus, maybe not, but it's becoming Taunus pretty quickly, and we are going. The weather is still really not nice. It is wet everywhere. There are some muddy sections, and yes, darkness now really is coming. I can feel that I will definitely not make it in time before the darkness at that point, but I push as much as possible, even though I try to not overdo it, especially when descending. And then every once in a while you need to ride on these state roads, the Bundesstraße there in Taunus, and there is a lot of traffic. And look at what happens next. This car is going super close by me, and then what is behind him? This motorcyclist overtaking him in one go. So crazy traffic, really not enjoyable to ride on these roads. But yeah, sometimes even if you pick the gravel route, you will have to be in such traffic conditions. Luckily, however, these segments are really quite short if you pick the gravel route. So here I go back into the woods, into the forest. And it is at this point in time that I know for sure I have lost the battle against darkness. You can see I already switched on my light. The footage doesn't look too dark yet, but it is actually really getting darker and darker by the minute now. And I know at some point the sun is going to set, and I will be riding still for several kilometers. And that is why I decide that I need to push it, especially when descending. I really don't want to crash, so I'm careful and reasonable, at least I try to be, because mind you, my collarbone is still healing from the fracture, and still I need to make as much progress as I can while it's still reasonably bright and I have a good view of the stuff. But I already know it's not going to suffice and I will be riding in the darkness, but I push it for this section of the ride, and it's fun because pushing it off-road is fun.
So now it is getting properly dark, and that's what I wanted to avoid but couldn't. Maybe a few too stops too many. I'm below 20k to go, so should be there in an hour or a bit less. Okay, so I have just opted to switch to a road-only route because there was too much nasty, muddy, disgusting stuff. So yes, now I'm on roads for the last, not that much to go. Let's check. 13k to go. So and that will be a breeze. Still feeling pretty solid here. Just definitely the zones have shifted, as they say, so I can clearly feel that endurance is a bit lower, tempo lower, and so on and so forth. So I just saw the first road sign signaling Diethardt, 2 kilometers to go. So lovely. So we are in Diethardt. Bam. Now, where do we need to go? Oh yeah, from here no the way. Made it. Arrivé, arrivé, which is French and means arrived. Arrivé. And a nice little ramp to finish things off here. Getting this up as the last little present of this ride. Delicious. Destination reached. Motherfucker.
It's the morning of the day after. I reviewed already a fair amount of footage here in the bed, and now I'm starving, really starving. Luckily my friends yesterday, when I arrived after cleaning the bike, waxing the chain, they had already cooked a nice dinner with a lot of carbs. That was much appreciated, so that was good. Then pretty decent night of sleep, and now on to helping here on like the construction site that is their house. But before that, I definitely need some breakfast, that is for sure. So on the ride yesterday was a pretty cool one, even though the weather and the mud conditions were partially annoying. But well, I guess that is life.